Hello, students. My name is Dr. Astha Jain. I'm a consultant pediatrician neonatologist practicing in Mumbai. We will be discussing about anti-epileptic drugs today. I'm sure epilepsy has been discussed, so we'll be talking about the ADs, anti-epileptic drugs today, which drug to choose and how to monitor. We will be understanding the classification of seizures in children first. Identify the commonly used anti-epileptic drugs, the drugs that are most commonly used. Learn criteria for selecting appropriate AEDs, which convulsion should have, or which kind of seizures would require what kind of drugs that we would be discussing. Recognizing the need for therapeutic drug monitoring. Epilepsy in children is a neurological condition characterized by recurrent seizures or recurring seizures, which are caused by abnormal electrical activities in the brain. Anti-epileptic drugs, also called as anticonvulsant drugs, are medications used to prevent or control seizures in individuals with epilepsy or other seizure disorders. So, abnormal electrical activity in the brain causes seizures, and the drugs used to control them are called as anti-epileptic drugs or anticonvulsant drugs. Now, why are they saying that these drugs require therapeutic drug monitoring? It is because these drugs are given for longer periods of time. These are not drugs that you give like paracetamol or antibiotics for 5 days and stop. So these are given for longer periods of time, and hence they would deposit in the body, right? We would have to check for their metabolism and if they're being metabolized right. So TDM or therapeutic drug monitoring, like we've discussed earlier, is very, very important. What are the types of seizures? Now, not exactly, but broadly, these are the types of seizures we know. Focal seizures, only when one particular part is involved. Okay. Suppose if a child only has the right upper limb movements, these are focal seizures. Generalized tonic-clonic seizures, when all the four limbs are involved and there is tightening and loosening of the limb. So, tightening and contracting of the limb. These are very common seizures. These are your GTCS seizures. Then absence seizures, when there is an abnormal electrical activity in the brain, but the child does not, there is no GTCS or there are no movements that you see in the muscle. There are no contractions, no tightening, but these are just absent seizures, right? These are absent seizures. Myoclonic seizures, where there is contraction of a muscle. These are normally seen in smaller children involving a group of muscles. Infantile spasms, again in smaller children, when they have uh, small rhythmic movements of muscles. These are infantile spasms. So, understanding the seizure type is critical for drug selection. Whenever a patient comes to you and has and complains that my child had a convulsion at home, you will not leave the history there. The history begins now. You ask them what kind of convulsion they had. So, what are the questions that you ask? Were all the four limbs involved? How long did the convulsion last? Did the child have any eye uprolling? Did the child have any bowel bladder incontinence? Was there loosening and tightening? Was it associated with loss of consciousness? Did the child regain consciousness in between? So it comes with a set of 8 or 10 questions. What you have to do is you have to identify what kind of seizure did the child have so that you can eventually decide what drug you want to give. Right. So, and otherwise, if a child regularly keeps on having convulsions, a good idea would be to ask the parents to record a video so that you could have an understanding of what kind of convulsion the child threw so that you could start the right anti-epileptic drug. Commonly used AEDs in children for GTCS, you give sodium valproate or Livera. Now, sodium valproate has the side effect profile of this drug is particularly high, especially in adolescent girls. So, Livera is the most safe AED, right? So, sodium valproate or Livera are two drugs that you can give in GTCS. Focal seizures, you give carbamazepine. So, oxcarbamazepine, Oxetal is the drug brand name that you call. Carbamazepine, oxcarbamazepine is the drug that you use for focal seizures. If there are absent seizure, that is the child does not manifest, as in there are no, you can't see it in the child, but then the child loses consciousness, has one or two peculiar features, and then on EEG you see that a child just had seizure, then you start ethosuximide or valproate can also work for absent seizures, but ethosuximide is drug is most commonly used. Infantile spasm in children 1.5 years of age, you will see small rhythmic contraction of their muscles. These are spasms that they get, and the drug that most commonly used is ACTH or vigabatrin. We've seen in West syndrome also, right? Vigabatrin. Myoclonic seizures, you give either Livera or Valperin. So please take note of these drugs. Valperin or Livera are the most commonly used ADs. Livera these days is the drug that is very, very commonly used. The drug dosages being, so sodium valparin 20 to 30 mg per kg per day. You can give it in BD dose, so it becomes 10 mk dose. Carbamazepine is 10 mg per kg per day, 10 to 20 mg per kg per day. Maximum dose being 20 mg per kg per day, and again given as a BD dose, so 10 mk dose. Levetiracetam, you can go up to 60 mg per kg per day, but you start with 10 mg per kg per day. So when you start Livera or when you start Valparin, you essentially give a loading dose first. So you give them 20 mk dose and then you start maintaining it at 10 mk dose BD. Okay, so you load with a higher dose and then you maintain it at a lower dose. Phenobarbital, a Gardinal, this phenobarbital syrup that you use in neonates is 3 to 5 mg per kg per day. Start with a lower dose and then you titrate gradually. Drug selection criteria. How do you choose the drug? What is the kind of seizure the child had? That is a very important criteria. As I've told you, you have to ask the parent to record a video, or if you can see the kind of seizure that the child is having, accordingly, you can decide. Age of the child is very important. Like I've told you, in adolescent girls, Valparin is avoided because it causes hirsutism, it causes obesity, it causes hormonal changes as well. So it is given in smaller children, but when the child grows, Valparin is avoided. Comorbidities, liver disease. If a child has liver disease, then you will give it at a much lower dose because most of the ADs are metabolized through your liver. Behavioral disorders also. So if there are any behavioral disorders, some drugs may not work well on these children and may induce more hyperactivity sometimes. Okay, so that has to be taken care of. So overall, the whole history and examination of a child is very important. Drug side effect profile. Of course, you should know what side effect what drug is causing, right? Cost and availability, how feasible it is for the patient to buy this drug because they're not going to buy it for 3 days, but it will go on for longer period of time. Ease of administration and compliance to the drug. How compliant the patient is to the drug is very important because if they end up stopping these medications because of inconvenience of taking these drugs, or if the drug is expensive, or if the patient is not compliant, they would end up having a breakthrough seizure. What are the adverse effects of AEDs? Valparin, obesity, weight gain, hepatotoxicity it causes, hair loss is another thing that valparin causes. Carbamazepine can cause rash, it can cause hyponatremia or liver enzyme elevation. Phenobarbital can cause sedation, there can be behavioral effects. Okay, it can cause, in very high doses, even can cause respiratory depression also. So you have to be very careful. Levetiracetam, mood disorders and irritability are few side effects. Follow up and family counseling is very important. Emphasize the adherence to the drug. Only if they keep taking the medication, they'll be seizure free. So emphasize adherence to medication schedule. That is very, very important. Educate them about the side effects and when to seek help. Right. So side effect of the drug and when help would be needed, that has to be taught. Explain seizure first aid to the parents. Right. So you have to tell them that when a child has seizure, what do they have to do? Give the child recovery position. That is, a left lateral can be given. Do not put anything in their mouth. Do not try to make them smell onions or socks or whatever that parents try to do, right? So that should be avoided. Do not try to put anything in their mouth. Let them have their seizure, or they can use a nasal spray, midazolam nasal spray, to acutely stop the seizure. That can be used. That can be put in bilateral nostrils. Discuss treatment duration and gradual weaning after seizure-free period. So EEGs and MRIs regularly have to be done by a pediatric neurologist. Essentially, you have to refer to a pediatric neurologist and you have to discuss about the treatment duration, how long the medication will have to continue, and weaning from the drugs after seizure-free period. Thank you.